right, we're back. Hope you enjoyed those songs. This is your man DJ TJ. This is Friday Night Live. You are listening to WKTJ Reverence Radio. It is August the 14th, 2020. And here is your news for the week. Nancy Pelosi went into detail yesterday. Or was it today? She went into detail over what's taking so long with this so-called meetings and compromising and just deal, the deal, whatever the deal is. And she went into detail about how the Republicans do not want to make a deal over the most important things, and she would not compromise her deal or go back on what she's been saying all along about what she needs and what she knows the American people needs versus what they actually want and what they're asking for and what they will not give into, which is $2 million. And she said she would come down from 3 to 2 if they would go up to 2 from 1. And apparently they will not. So we are still at a standstill, and there has been a deeper date named now as September 14th, which is a month from today, which is actually my birthday, y'all. I'm turning 41. And on that date, they're supposed to be able to come back and actually be ready to vote on something. But that is the date that they plan on having Congress return from this vacation. They were in session and they were on call just in case something popped off and they came to a deal, an agreement on something. But now that's no longer the case. Not only that, this past week, your president, Donald Trump, decided he wanted to go deeper with his executive order and sign 4 things into law. This is after what I said last Friday. He went and did it, I think, on Monday, if I'm not mistaken. It was either Monday or it was Saturday. Either way it goes, he signed 4 executive orders having to do with student loans, payroll taxes, the unemployment, and there was one other. And it doesn't even matter that I don't even remember what the other one was because they had no value to them. And people are going nuts over what he did and how he did it and when will it happen and this and this and this. And he even said states can, chip in and help with the unemployment and all this kind of stuff, which has no validity. It's not valid at all for him to even do that, even though the GOP was hoping he would, so it would take the sting out of the Democrats, because right now the Democrats have the upper hand in this whole thing. So with him doing that, people are on YouTube talking about, well, since he did that, and they did not talk about the stimulus checks, then there won't be stimulus checks and they won't have a deal, and the later it gets, the closer it gets to November, this, and this. Well, truth is, the deal is still on the table. They just have to agree to disagree and iron out some differences. That's all it is to it. Because there's just a lot of back and forth, a lot of finger pointing and blame going on, like it has been for the past, month? I'm not going to say 3 weeks. I'm going to say month. Well, I should say, matter of fact, it's been like that for the past 4 months, because back in, what was that, May, they put the HEROES Act out there. So, May, June, July, August. That's 4 months. So here it is, August 14th, and they put that out there, May 31st or something like that. Um, all this time they had, I'm talking of the Republicans, they had all this time, and now they want to just jump in and say, well, the American people needs us. All of a sudden, Mitch McConnell wants to say that he cares. He's no longer waiting it out to see what's going to happen. Now it's go time. And if we don't go, it's on the Democrats. I do want to mention that I'm impartial to either side. I could care less because this country is built on lies, is built on a lot of garbage, and they can't keep it straight because they put crappy people in there anyway. And when you got a bunch of kids trying to control something and trying to do something, you're not going to get any results because it just won't work. There's too much immaturity going on. The first act was passed. The first package was passed that helped people pass because they knew it was dire time and nobody was working, nobody was doing anything. So they just said, okay, we agree. We don't care what you put in there. Go. This time, still nobody working, and we'll get to the children going back to school in a minute, but they think that people actually are going back to work for some reason. I don't understand that. People are not going back to work. It's actually getting worse with this stupid virus, and people are acting like we're back to normal, and most of the Republicans say that they won't even vote on another bill. So it's a big mess like it's always been. I keep saying this over and over again. I'm tired of saying it. So that's all about that. The stupid daggone deal was not made. Point and blank. I'm just going to say that. So now we go over to the schools. Now schools have been saying yay and nay about schools and children coming back to school all week. Turns out Atlanta went back to school and a couple other states went back to school and they had an outbreak. So now it's up in the air whether they're going to stick around or they're just going to quarantine or they're going to start all over or they're not going to come back to school. When they know it's not safe yet, why would you put your children in jeopardy? Not only the children, now they got to go home and if they got it, they're going to give it to you. Why would you do that? That's just stupid and ignorant. I just don't understand people right now. So yes, we want people to go back to school. Yes, we want people to go back to work. It's not time yet. You gotta stop being so anxious and just wait. When you say vaccine is ready and it's affordable and it's effective, then you can start talking about how payroll taxes help you and all this kind of stuff. We don't want to disincentivize anybody by giving them more money on unemployment than what they normally made. You can't say that yet because there are people that cannot go back to work. So they need to wait. People need to wait. They're not looking at this with a sober mind. They're not thinking straight. I think people are staying home too long and getting drunk or something. There's something wrong with people's mentality right now because we're still in a pandemic. The virus is still alive. It's not gone. People got to get that through their thick skull. It's still going on. We have to close up again. Let's close up again. People don't want to wear masks. People are having parties. People are doing all kind of nonsense, killing people over masks. People are just doing all kind of crazy stuff. And yes, the election is a couple months. Speaking of which, congratulations to Kamala Harris for becoming the vice presidential candidate standing next to Joe Biden. I want to say this personally on my side of the thinking, okay? I appreciate him doing that because not many white men will think about a black woman to be their running mate for president, vice president. You know what I'm saying? A woman, a black woman. You know what I'm saying? He thought enough to do that. I don't think anybody put a gun to his head to do it, but he did it. He did it. He made history by doing it. And I sure the hell hope that it's worth it, in the end, that people actually do their mail-in vote, even though Donald Trump is trying to sabotage this election again by making sure people can't use the mailing system. I see all kinds of nonsense going on, because last week I came on here and said he was all for it. Even he sends his daggone ballot in. He does mail-in voting. He was all for it. Now he's saying make sure there's not a deal with Pelosi and all the other ones in Congress so they cannot fund the United States Postal Office. If they can't fund them, then people can't get their votes out. People can't get the votes out, then it won't be a fair election. Because people know it's not safe to go out and do it in person. If they do it in person, they can mess with those voting systems, and it'll be the same result as it was 4 years ago, which is nonsense. And there's a lot of people that no matter what, they will not go out and vote in person. So people are trying to get their vote in early. New Jersey and some other states have agreed to do it early, so that way if there's anything wrong with the postal system, that it's already out there and we cast. There's been people who come on the news saying they're worried that if you vote by mail, your vote won't get through, it will not count, they will never see your ballot. And that's what Donald Trump wants. It's a big mess, y'all. It's a big mess. So hopefully, at the end of the day, we all get what we deserve when it comes to this election, because this is a big mess and we don't deserve this. Okay, we don't deserve this. So everybody knows that Kanye West was not really going to be president. He was going to distract people. He was going to be the open vote to take away from Joe Biden. Now that Kamala Harris is on the ticket, they're trying to, desensitize her. They're trying to make her look bad. They're trying to attack her character and say she wasn't born here. And same thing he did with Barack Obama, stupid stuff. She was born here. That would be debunked really quick. So it's just one of those things, y'all. Competition is competition. I get it. And he don't like competition. But this one is going to be tough, because right now he's down in the polls, and I don't know if he cares about the polls, but people have been talking about the polls for a while, and he's down in a lot of states. In Michigan, he has dropped out of Michigan. So obviously, I think he cares about what people are saying about the states are leaning this way and that way, because he wouldn't have pulled out his troops out of Michigan if he wasn't going to lose Michigan. That don't make sense. If he was going to win it, he would have stayed. But he knows he's not going to win it, so he has no people in Michigan. Said that last week or the week before. And that's a good thing, because Michigan is a battleground state. He's also losing in a lot of other battleground states. So think about that. And the only reason why he signed those executive orders is so he stays relevant. Because right now he's not relevant. Nobody trusts him. Especially how he handled this pandemic. He hasn't handled the pandemic. He's really gone against everything that could help us. Everything that could help us, he's gone against. From the very jump. And that's what people see right through him right now. And there's people that still love him. There's still people that would never ever turn their back on him and never vote against him, no matter what he says or does. Let them be them. That's them. But the other people that have been his supporters have gone against him recently. And put it on video and announced it, that they no longer trust him, which is not really a shame. It's about time, because we don't deserve this, man. This is serious. It's not to be taken lightly. which he has been taking lately all year, was just going to disappear. No, it won't. No, it won't. And I'm hoping to God that they don't trust Russia. Russia has said they have a vaccine, and even Vladimir Putin has tested this particular vaccine on his own daughter. And they've asked the United States to go in on a vaccine to make sure it's more effective. The U.S. has turned them down. Now, who's to say it's more effective? But they had their professionals talk about this, and they said that no, it hasn't been tested properly. We can't go in with you. So, United States does not trust Russia in their so-called vaccine, which is, to be seen why, if they do actually have human trials, then they need to make sure that they jump on it if it is effective. If it is effective, then hey, I say go for it, because that's going to be the only way that we get rid of this thing. And it has to be dealt with. It has to be dealt with. So I say that, at least there's another country that's trying. China hasn't come up with a vaccine. We have hope on a vaccine. We have some leeway on a vaccine, but it's not as effective. So what can you do? I say kudos to them for even having, tried, or, having some movement on something opposed to other places. This is your man, DJ TJ. This is Friday Night Live, and you are listening to WKTJ Reverence Radio. It is August 14, 2020. I have a little bit more news for you, but right now we're going to get into our newest song of the day, of the week. And when I come back, I'll announce what that is, okay? Y'all sit tight. We'll be right back.